Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well as usual. Do we have what? Yeah, you should have people in the live chat. Hello, Rafael, by the way. I saw your chat just a bit earlier. I hope you're well, brother. And I do hope that everyone had a fantastic weekend. Finally, a bit of a calm one on Bitcoin because it's been like 10 weekends that we've had very strong moves up, especially on Sunday. This one has been a bit calmer, which is nice to see. Never like to start the week with big moves, but as you know, these can offer very easy trades for big reversals to the downside or to the upside. Um, by the way, a quick confirmation in the live chat if we are indeed live and is everything good? The audio, the video, and then we dive into everything. Let me do this 1 second. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so we'll dive into everything. We'll start with the announcements very quickly, just a couple of seconds. Then we'll dive into this week's recap, and finally we'll dive into today's price action, what levels we have above and below us. So as you guys know, if you want to trade with a 30% fee discount on BitUnix, you can sign up with our referral link. It will be available down in the description. And if you want to know how the fee discount works, it's explained right there. Just a flat fee discount, no scam, no nothing. I think that you guys have been seeing the drama that's been going on with different exchanges. BitUnix, once again, I said it last week, I will say it again, has been, at least in my opinion, one of the best exchange to trade on during the crash that we've had. Was it on the 10th of October? I don't remember the date. Yeah, on the 10th of October. So once again, if you want a fee discount, you can sign up with our link, which is in the description. And finally, if you want to trade with our imbalance indicator, which as you know helps us give you our support and resistance levels, the link is also in the description and it's basically in our courses. Okay, so it's a link to our website. Not the best announcements, I have to work on that, but you guys get the gist of it. And with that said, we can recap what happened this week. Pretty simple one as always. Monday started off very well because what I wanted to see was exactly this. Today consolidate, so that was on Monday. If I show you right there, can you show the date? Monday. I want to see price go sideways, and then tomorrow, so on Tuesday, open along at 113.5. That was my support below. That's exactly what happened. We went sideways. This can load. We went sideways. We got the drop. This was the daily open, so Tuesday. You got the setup during the agent session. You got the imbalance. You have a nice wick. You take the long position, which of course I did take. And then we got this very nice pump, but unfortunately we had a lot of imbalances, so I did decide to implement a take profit on my long position. In the end, we had four imbalances on Binance, which offered a big drop and actually the lower high of the week before we saw much lower prices. I personally didn't take that short because, as you know, what I wanted to see was this resistance above. We'll dive into it on the chart. And after that, it wasn't much right there. I still wanted to see a bit of a bigger drop to hit the support, but then we hit it during the news. Okay, the reaction was not the best, and then it was too close to the news for me to open any position. So nothing done there. And then I took one more trade on Friday, which was against that resistance. Volume was very nice, but now looking back at it, it was a bit choppy, so I don't know. Still, I took the short, which turned into a loss. But I mean, that's fine. Okay, small loss compared to a big win. And that's always what you look to do when trading. That was mainly it for me this week. Very simple. As always, we keep it very simple. And what ended up happening is just, we had like 50 SFPs. What is this? I don't know. And then we got the drop lower. So it is what it is. Back to the charts. Everything very simple. What can you expect this week? Hello Habib, hello Jean-Pierre, I hope you're well. Hello Sanjin, I hope you're well as well. Do you use smart money concepts for your analysis? I don't use any of these kind of big words that you probably learn from other people, maybe not you directly, but you did have these big YouTubers that talked about some concepts. Personally, I heavily disagree with them. And that's why I formed my own system, which, I mean, you guys know, we pretty much call, of course, not every single pivot, but we very easily call about 80% of the pivots, if not more. I think all of these concepts, especially SMC, smart money concepts, I don't know, I think it's a bit of BS, but that's just my opinion, and you don't have to take my opinion, of course. It's just me. I have my system, it works very well, so I don't know, I think a lot of people are dishonest in this space. Especially one thing I would say, if you see someone teach you something and all they do is hindsight analysis, you probably want to avoid that person. That's why what I always do is I do, for example, the support. I gave it days in advance. We gave it during the live stream, and I mean, of course, when we get the bounce, and then I do a recap. But the levels are always given in advance. I never do hindsight analysis. I tell you, oh look, we had this low because this happened. I took the long. I never do this. It's always on the like live analysis, and you guys know it, and you guys know this. So when someone all they do is teach you hindsight analysis, you probably want to be a bit careful about that person. And you do have a lot of people like this, especially on YouTube, and very big YouTubers as well. It's always hindsight analysis. One last thing I will say, because I don't like to talk about other people a lot, I don't really care. But for example, during this downtrend, I'm not joking, you have these huge accounts on Twitter that claim to have called this low, even though they came on like Monday and Tuesday and said that their support was there. And then when you got the job and you saw this bounce, they come like 1 day later or like 5 hours later and say that, look, we had the support there and that's why we bounced. Well, why was that support not on your chart when price was up there? I don't know. I will let you guys be the judges of that. But enough talking about other people. I don't love this. What's your system called? I mean, it's just imbalances. It's not my system. My system is the colored candles. But yeah, it's just imbalances. It's not like my system once again, but the indicator is mine, and that's how I trade. So enough yapping about other people. Of course, if you have questions on my indicator, send them in the live chat. But with that said, now what can we look for this week? Well, of course, you can remove this resistance. One thing that I looked at just before starting the stream is that we have this scam wick on Coinbase, okay, which comes down to 108.8. You don't have to mark it out, but usually when you see scam wicks in the chart, you do expect these ones to get taken out. So last one that we had was a couple of days ago. I can't remember where it was. Oh, it was this one. Okay. So we had this scam wick on Coinbase. I did put this on Twitter, not inside the Discord. But if you saw, we had this wick. This wick was not on Bybit, right? 16th of October. It was this one, if I remember. So yeah, you can see this wick is pretty normal on Bybit. And then if you go over to Coinbase, you had this wick, which you call a scam wick. And usually when you see those, you expect them to get filled, which is exactly what happened right there. So once again, you don't have to mark this out because we just don't have a level there. I'm just going to use this as a bit of a confluence to at least expect lower prices and a break of this double bottom. Because now you have this wick and you have a double bottom, you expect the fill of that wick, which means to take out these lows. Back to Bybit. Do we have any level? Well, if you go on the 30 minutes, I do like this order block. You can see we have 3 imbalances. This one has not been filled, which is something to keep in mind. And then we have this order block. So I will keep 2 levels. Nice voice crack. Nice voice crack. I will keep 2 levels. Is your indicator free on TradingView? It is on TradingView, but you can only access it through our courses. So it's on our website. It's not free. I'm not looking to make it free for one main reason. I just don't want it to get overtraded. If it's free, then thousands of people can have access to it. I don't want that. That's why, of course, it's a bit for the future. But I think that if we grow a lot on YouTube and of course on Discord, Twitter, we will probably make our courses limited. So that's just a quick thing right now. I don't want to sell too many courses. I don't really care about the money. It's just I don't want my indicator to be free and overtraded, especially because it's that simple. Now we have this order block below. We have these two lows, which I would expect to get taken out. We have our levels to the downside. To the upside, we still have this area which we gave in our update. What's the logic behind it? Well, you have a 12-hour imbalance, 12-hour order block. Same one on Binance, not this one, my bad. Same one on Binance, imbalance plus order block, plus 4-hour imbalance on Binance, but it's not one on Bybit. So this would be the area above. Do we have any other confluence on it? Let me look at this. No confluence. How about the entire range? Okay, so we have the value area high up there. Bit of volume, nothing special, but at least we have some. Okay. So these would be the levels this week. So before I cover the potential scenario, my main focus, so you guys understand what I'm looking at, is that I don't think we get another weekend range inside of this range. Okay, so above 102 and below 116. I think it's time for a breakout. So I would look for a bit of volatility this week. So with that said, I think one thing to look at, you can just take these lows. You don't have to mark this level. I will mark this as liquidity, and this would be very reaction based. So ideally this Monday, I would actually like to see a jump to the downside, because now it's been a couple of Mondays where we've had, remember? A pump on Monday, short, pump on Monday, short, pump on Monday, short, pump on Monday, short. Now, of course, you do have to be aware of this pattern because it can happen again. But at this point, I would like to see something a bit different. It's been 1, 2, 3, 4 Mondays in a row where we've had shorts. So this week, how about we drop first, take out this double bottom. So it depends. It will be either a swing failure pattern, of course, or we hit my level. Ideally, I would like my level. But just take out these lows tomorrow, which should offer a somewhat easy long position, take it back up to resistance, and then boom, just offer a breakout to the downside. That's mainly what I'm looking for. As I said, I'm expecting a breakout this week just because of the time that we've spent in this range. I think it's time to break out. We're past the news. We've taken enough liquidity, both sides. So I think that would be enough for rejection and then break to the downside. Ideally, that would be what you get. Now, of course, if we get the jump, the long position, and we break above that level, then I would be looking back up towards this area. But I have to say at this point, since we've already put in these highs on Monday, I don't think this area is very strong anymore. I will keep an eye on it, because if we break above it, then I will expect at least $121,000. But I don't know, I don't love this area anymore. And I think we can keep it that simple. One support below. I say one support because if you break these lows and you will just be waiting for a reaction, whether it's on my level or a bit above. And then to the upside, we have one level as well. I would like to see a jump first. Yeah, that would mainly be it. For this low, I still don't like it. I've outlined my view on this one on Friday, but the main reason behind it is that on the 4-hour chart, this is such an ugly low, which in my opinion will get taken out. So when you have an ugly low, a wickless low, sorry, you do expect these ones to get taken out. Now, of course, if we pump first tomorrow, then this short is still valid, okay? So if we just pump tomorrow, hit this resistance with imbalances, then still this can offer a short position. But again, my gut feeling tells me it's been a couple of Mondays since we've, well, like it's always been up then short. How about we got something a bit different this week? Down, open along, up, potentially reject up here and break back down below support. One more confluence, by the way, to expect the bounce. Guess what? Is the start of a new monthly candle. And what do I always look at? Well, you guys know, monthly pivots. We have a monthly pivot above. So once again, if we jump first, having this pivot as confluence for a bounce is just very nice. It's just very nice. So you have the monthly pivot once again to expect a bounce. And yeah, you have these imbalances. I think it's enough to expect at least a bit of a bounce before we potentially see lower prices. We don't have to see them, but once again, my bias is to see a break to the downside. I would be very surprised if we just go back up and put in new all-time highs. Honestly, I'd be surprised. Okay, guys, any questions? Because it looks like SMC. I don't know what really looks like SMC. I just have colored candles. I don't see the similarity. So if we don't have any questions, I will just cover Ethereum. Let's go over to Ethereum. Ethereum this week was fairly simple. What even is this level? I don't remember. That was a resistance. Oh, that was a daily imbalance, right? I just marked it out on my chart. Daily imbalance, which has offered resistance, as you can see. I'm gonna remove this. So last week on Ethereum, let me fix the daily open, pretty much had to play around these highs. So it was either a failed auction above these highs, or if you broke and maintained above it, I wanted to see a move towards 4.4. Now, of course, you got a failed auction. How could you have confirmed this? Well, it was the exact same setup that we had on Bitcoin. What was it? When you break above, you go on the 4-hour, and guess what you had? You had the 4-hour imbalance and the 4-hour order block. So you take this as an area, and if you jump into it and you're able to get a good bounce, of course, in my opinion, this was still a long position. This was the exact long that I took on Bitcoin. So if you took that long, of course, still it played out well. But then when you lose this level, this is when you confirm a deviation above that high, and well, a much bigger drop to the downside. So exact same thing as Bitcoin. I show you the support once again that we took. It was on the 4-hour. We had 4-hour imbalance, 4-hour order block. So that's what I took to show you the support on Tuesday, and that's what I traded. Okay, you jumped into it and you got the bounce. So exact same thing. When you lose it, you see weakness on Bitcoin. When you lost it on Ethereum, you saw weakness. Now, again, you have an ugly low, and on top of that, you have 4 lows. So ugly lows plus 4 lows. You would just expect a continuation lower on Ethereum, at least in my opinion. Can you take a look at ZEC? We will take a look at ZEC, of course. ZEC. I mean, do we have anything there? Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We have that wick, I guess. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. We have a bit of volume there, which is nice. And remove this now. I will extend this, but I don't think this will get reached now. I'd be surprised if it does. Let me hide it for now, we don't need it. And boom. Okay, so you have that level above, which is definitely nice. So on Ethereum, I would say same thing as Bitcoin. Can get that drop. Come on. And get that drop to then bounce. Then this will be a very important level. Now you do have this imbalance above as well, which is, that one will be interesting. But for now, I'll keep this area and then potentially reverse lower. That's what I think we can look for on Ethereum. Area to the downside should be the same as Bitcoin. Just keep an eye on this order block. I'm not gonna trade Ethereum as usual, so I'm not too interested in that. So I want to learn how to trade so bad, but most of the shit on social media is just a scam. How can I know your course is legit? Well, just look at all our YouTube videos and form your own opinion on us. I will do a quick, do I want to do a recap of every single high and low that we called? I don't know if I want to, but if we do very quickly what we called the very lately, we called this high, which we shorted. We called this low, which I didn't long, but I took my long up there. So we called this high in advance. We called this low in advance. We called this high in advance in our Sunday live stream. We almost called this high, but I missed it. We called this low, which I longed. I took profits right before the drop, by the way. Inside of this range, we called this low. And we called this high. Didn't call this high, but then we called this low, and when we lost it, we expect a lower price. So I mean, all you can do is just go back in time and watch our YouTube updates and see what not hindsight, not what live analysis I did, what predictions I did they hit or not, and then you can form your own opinion on us. Are we honest? Are we dishonest? Are we accurate with our predictions? Do we change our levels after the moves happen? Because I see a lot of this happening on Twitter. People change their levels after the move happened. You guys know I never do that. So it's just, once again, you can form your own opinion on our accuracy. And I have not updated this in a while, I have to say, but I mean, I'm not gonna open this now. But if you go over to our, actually, let me open this. .com website. Come on. I have not updated this in a while, but last time I updated it, it was right there. Forgot which month it was, but we were at 86 setups and a 67% win rate. Still have to update this, but it's been like 2 months that I have not, and it's taking a while to load. So I guess you can also go through this if you want. So it was in May the last time I updated it. And of course, since I stopped updating it, that's one of the reasons why I stopped. It was kind of adding stress on my trading, but my win rate has gone up. It's back to around 75 to 80%. So my win rate has gone back up. We're probably over 100 setups. I would say maybe back to 72%, something like this. And then you can see the average winner, 4%, average loser 0.6%. So once again, everything that I do is on Discord, on YouTube. We keep the updates, of course not the live streams, but we keep the updates very quick so I don't confuse you. You guys know I don't give you 5 levels to the upside, 5 levels to the downside, and I'm gonna stop yapping. Most course sellers are even traders. Well, you see me here every day, so that's my job. Raphael, follow him in the Discord for a couple of weeks. Exactly. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. Good point. Firstly, I cannot recommend him enough, and the courses are very helpful. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. I do appreciate the support. It's always nice to see. So you guys did ask me to cover ZEC USDT. Yeah, on Binance. Let's see. Ooh, okay. We just talked about not changing our levels. What did I have down there? You can see this rectangle. Well, I have to extend it in time because it took longer, but guess what? Hit into the support. I forgot when we did. It was back there on the 12th of October. So I gave 2 supports. That was the first, that was the second. You can see beautiful drop into our second support. And so I just talked about not changing my levels. You can see I have not touched this since you guys asked me about it. That was a beautiful, beautiful support. Wow. Always nice to see. 130%. That was a nice one. What do we have today? What was the support even? Of course, I'm not gonna remember. I guess it was the midpoint of that week. Yeah, I think that was the midpoint of that week, but why did I have an area? Probably took the open of this candle. Well, you can go back and watch the stream. Oh, we had this order block. Okay, now that makes sense. That makes more sense. Okay. What do we have today on ZEC? Definitely looks very, very bullish, but also very overextended. Oh, that's Zcash. Yeah, you can see this. I don't know if you want to call this a scam pump, but these have happened in the past where you see these very explosive moves up and very literally a straight drop lower. So I would be careful on this coin. That's the first thing that I want to say. You can see it happen 3 times. Straight move up, straight down. Straight move up, straight down, straight move up, straight down. So just be careful on this coin. Let us analyze the levels. Let me look at this. You have a 12-hour imbalance. That's nice. Take this. 4-hour imbalance as well. Pretty nice. And 1-hour imbalance right there, which is partially filled. So that would be your area. That would be your first area. And look at the volume profile. Maybe from point of control as well, right in it. That's beautiful. So if you want, I'd say you can even make this area smaller. But I think you want to reduce leverage when you trade these super volatile coins, so you can keep a bigger area. That would be the first one. From 345 to 355, so $10 area. Do we have any? Okay, we just have this one, which is not a big problem. I'd say if you break the support, you probably wanna look at another coin, maybe, just because the main thing I'm worried about is this coin doing the same thing as once again it has done in the past, which is a straight pump and a straight dump. So you don't want to give it too much leeway to the downside. You want to be a bit more strict with that coin. So I'd say for now, just keep an eye on this level. If you lose it, of course, then that would be the first level. And then if you lose it, well, of course, at this point, I would expect the fill of this daily imbalance. And put this back in line. 4. Yeah, that would be your second support, but I would really dislike this this second area. I don't like it at all. So you could mark out this area personally. Again, if you lose that level, at least personally, I would probably not look at this coin anymore. But if you really like it, maybe like the fundamentals or whatever, this would be your second area. From 275 to 285 pretty much. Again, another $10 area. But again, I don't like this one. I think what you want to focus is on this. And one last time, if you really insist on trading this coin, you can look at the second level, which I really don't like. But this one is a very strong one, and you should at least expect a reaction, in my opinion. You have the point of control, we have a daily imbalance. No, we have a daily order block. We have a 12-hour imbalance, 12-hour order block. We have a 4-hour imbalance, and you have the point of control of this move up. So very, very, very important level. Where was it? From here, I think, right? Yeah. So that would be your analysis for ZEC. I want to short ZEC. I mean, you could, but the problem is that you don't have any levels to the upside. And just by looking at the imbalances, I would say the top is... I don't want to say that the top is not in, but usually when you look at these coins, when looking for a top, you're looking for like 3 imbalances in a row, at least. Or 2 is good enough on the 4-hour chart and above. Right now, you don't have an imbalance on the 4-hour. You don't have one on the 12-hour. And you don't have one on the daily. So until you have these, then that's when you could say that, okay, potentially this coin has topped out. And you could look for a reversal similar to the one that this coin has had previously. But for now, no imbalances. So, I mean, of course, you still need to wait for support in order to open a long position. And if you lose it, then yeah, just expect much lower prices. Let me look at one last thing. I don't look at this very often, but what? Okay. Balance volume. Yeah, it looks good. Still, everything looks good. Okay. So that would be my analysis for Zach. Honestly, the courses are very well structured and the demo trading platform helped me tremendously. I recommend it. Thank you, Francesco, as well. I do really appreciate your guys' support. Joel as well. What you say? I've been following you since the beginning. I can confirm you're the most accurate, honest analysis. Otherwise, thank you for the great work. The best. Thank you, Joel. Thank you, everyone. Three comments, guys. I'm famous. I can be so stupid sometimes. But is there anything else that we want to cover? We can look at Solana. Solana once again still holding that support, but it's getting sketchy right now. I have so many lows. What is happening? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows and now 6. I'd be careful on Solana. Definitely be careful on this coin. So Solana, I mean, support resistance above still hasn't changed. XRP still, you have that massive wick, forget about it. And all the other coins, you have these massive wicks to the downside. What is this? That's Link? Oh, Link BTC. Yeah. What was this? Front shot by a couple of cents, but still offered the bounce. 7%. Oh, that was close. Definitely close. TRB. You have a first. That was an old level, I think. Yeah, that was a very old level. So yeah, for the other altcoins, if you have any more questions, guys, for altcoins, I think ZEC, funnily enough, looks the best. It will be the support below. And when we did share the support below, so if you took it, you would be in a fantastic spot. You can even trade your stop loss. For the current support is this one. Ethereum, just the same setup as Bitcoin. Just the same setup as Bitcoin. You can go back over to Bitcoin. It's trying to hold up right there. Once again, guys, remember, if we pump tomorrow into resistance, this can still offer a short position. And I would probably argue that this would be a bit more bearish if we pump first, because I really want this liquidity to get taken out. Remember, we have the wickless daily candle. This still has not changed. We have a wickless daily candle. And now on Coinbase, we have even one more confluence, which is that we have the scam wick to the downside, which can, just my opinion, but this will get taken out. So pumping first would definitely be more bearish. You want a bit of a local level, I would not advise trading during the weekend, but you have this. So maybe just pump into this level and then drop to the support. 110.6 for me, no trading today as usual. Habib, you are my market wizard. Thank you. Precious metals, of course. What is your high time frame bias? Hasn't really changed. Hasn't really changed. That wick, I want this wick to get taken out and then we can see what happens. If we get one more all-time high, I mean, I have to admit, I'm seeing both sides. I'm seeing bearish people and I'm seeing bullish people. I don't see one dominant side. But we can go over to, we did talk about the dollar. Look at the dollar, it's just going up. We did analyze the support last week. Okay, that was hindsight analysis. I'm just saying it, but I don't care because I don't trade this asset. But we did find this support last week, which is offering a reversal to the upside. So if the dollar continues on moving up from here, which I'm expecting, because once again, big support. Once we broke below a trend line, which I couldn't find, I saw a lot of people calling for the end of the dollar. So makes sense for the dollar to reverse higher. And if the dollar reverses, Bitcoin will fall, gold will fall, stocks will fall, everything will fall. And this lines up with my analysis that, at least on the medium time frame, you have this liquidation wick. Historically, when you have a liquidation wick, this gets taken out. So I guess high time frame bias would be neutral. Medium time frame bias would be bearish because I would like to see this wick to get taken out. When we take out this wick, then we can see the reaction. Do we get a swing failure pattern? Do we get a failed auction? Do we push to $97,000? We'll have to see what happens if we break below this wick. But for now, high time frame, I would say neutral. Medium time frame, definitely more bearish. Gold. How funny would it be if gold has stopped out there? How funny would that be? Did we have the imbalances? Yeah, we had one, I would say two. Is that enough? We talked about this before. Look at this one. You had two, potentially three. If you count this one, you had three imbalances, which offered a range for a couple of months, couple of weeks. Potentially gold has stopped out. You go back to the Elliott waves. It's just how extended is this wave 5 going to be? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is your wave 5. So for now, I don't mind putting this here. This is your wave 5, wave 3. The only problem I have with this is how close we still are to the wave 1. So the wave 4 would have to be somewhat shallow. Let me look at this. Yeah, 50%. So we could get something a bit more shallow. Let's say something like this. I don't know. Just purely looking at this, maybe you go higher. But again, guys, I don't trade gold, so just take this with a grain of salt. I don't have much to. For now, you know what? I'm just gonna put this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Probably you at least put in one more high, just by looking at it very quickly. I don't know. I don't have a very strong bias on gold. I have to admit, I don't have a very strong bias, just because I don't really care about it. Thanks for your live, as usual, my friend. I hope you enjoyed it. Silver, what happened to silver? Silver still holding up. Silver still holding up. Again, not much to say about gold and silver. It will just depend on the dollar. And as I have a more bullish bias on the dollar, I will have a more bearish bias on gold and silver. That's one thing. But look, guys, it's always a good thing if you get a big drop on gold, you can buy. Everyone who just decided not to buy gold on this bear market, I mean, if they were smart enough to maybe buy 20% once every month, maybe, I don't know what your strategy is, but you could have had an average entry of, let's say, 1,200. And from 1.2 to here, it's almost, let's say, 3.5x. So it's a very 3.5x on your money. Right now, do you want to be buying? Probably not. You don't want to be buying gold up here. Silver, same thing. If you get a drop, you just look to buy. S&P, has my target been reached? Ooh. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. So on the log scale, it's still above. Just keep this in mind. 7.1, 7.1, 7.2. Has it been reached? Hasn't. Okay, it hasn't been reached. But we are getting close to that first resistance. If you want to mark out an area, so let me take this 1 second to make it a bit more accurate. So from here, say this would be your area. I know it's a big area, guys, but I don't freaking trade stocks, so I don't care if it's a big area. That would be your area. Somewhere in there. So $7,000 psychological level. Make it a bit lower. The log scale is always more important on these fib pulls. I'm just wondering. Let's keep it like this for now, it's fine. That would be the area above on the stock market. We are reaching it. Everything is super overextended. Just keep an eye on this above. And for myself, if anyone is wondering, I was invested in AMD, literally bought the bottom. I completely sold this. Why did I buy it? Because I had a support. If this can load, Okay, so I had the support down there. That's where I bought AMD. That was a beautiful return. I fully sold this stock, just too overextended. I don't care if it goes up anymore. New, I am still looking at this, but I need a job to start buying this. I need a job on this stock. So still not bought new. Sophie still doing very, very, very well. I haven't sold this one. And Hood again still doing amazing, so nothing to do there. PayPal did move a bit after the earnings. I was keeping an eye on this, but it gave everything back, which was pretty unfortunate. That was such a nice move, back above $80 for the first time in a while, but it just gave everything back. I like the stock still. These were very nice earnings. Where would you buy silver? Where would I buy silver? Well, for my investments, look, I keep it very simple. Just take the second move, and you want to take kind of the average. 35 is a bit low. Will silver ever go back to $35? I don't know. So just looking at the logic of kind of the averages, you can look at the moving average. Oh my, why did I do this? So it's also at 35. I would say anything below $40 would be okay. Anything below 40 at this point would be okay. But silver doesn't look done to me. Gold just looks more overextended than silver. Silver, yes, we've had a big rejection of the all-time high, but did we really get this entire move just to end it right there? I'd be very surprised if silver has stopped out. I think silver still has higher to go. I think we still have higher to go on silver. If we don't, we don't. But yeah, I think something like this would make a bit more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So still higher on silver. I would still like to see higher prices. Just doesn't look done. It's funny I say this because gold doesn't look done. It's still in a strong uptrend, but I wouldn't be surprised if gold drops, but I'd be more surprised if silver drops. And they do kind of move together, so that would be interesting to see. Anyway, I'm being honest, I don't have a very strong bias on these. I don't have a very strong, even on stocks. The only reason I bought my stocks on the job is because stocks were cheap. At least the stocks that I bought were cheap. So I don't really have a bias when I invest. You just buy when it's cheap, you sell when it's expensive. And if you do this over and over again, trust me, making money in investing will be extremely easy. So just buy when it's cheap, sell when it's expensive. Can you also look at Aster? Aster USDT. Man, what is this? Is this the coin that CZ tweeted about? This freaking scammer? Look, all I'm gonna say is if you guys are listening to someone who went to jail, you probably need help. I don't know how people still listen to that guy, I have to be honest. That was a partially filled 4 hour, but was that big enough to take a short? Probably not, but you can see you had big enough balls to take this 10% from that partially filled imbalance. Probably not done going higher. I mean, just looking at the charts, probably not done. So let's see. 50%. That's too low. I don't like this. $1. So I would like to see something higher. How about the weekly? 12 hour, 4 hour, 1 hour. Probably want to hold above that low. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna have the best read on this coin because this move is just one candle. So when you get these super impulsive move, usually it's not great to look for retracements, just because you can see like it's literally just one candle. So maybe you want to play around that low. I kind of like this higher low. So maybe this does not get taken out. Maybe if you go a bit sideways and you want to continue higher. If you break this low, of course, be aware of a failed auction. But that's just my gut. I don't think we get a swing failure pattern or failed auction below that low. I do believe that if you take this out, you could drop much lower. And that's why I like this higher low right there. I think if you want to go higher, you probably want to maintain this low before moving up. But this was pumped because of someone who is very influential. So take this for what it is. Do you want to go leverage long on an asset because someone tweeted about it, especially someone that went to jail? I don't know. It's your guys' choice. Pure trading wise, I don't like it. Super impulsive move. As long as you maintain above this low, okay, it's not bad. But if you drop below that low, I would be very cautious. I would be extremely cautious. Not looking bad though. Like, you dropped, you had the imbalances on the drops, and now a strong reversal. Just be careful if you want to trade that coin. Okay, everyone? So if we don't have any more questions, I will do a recap on Bitcoin. Do I want to do a recap on other coins? I mean, okay, we'll do a recap on ZEC as well because this setup was not bad. But Ethereum would be the same setup as Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we have one level above, one level below. Personally, I would like to see a drop first, just because it has been a while since every single Monday has offered a short. On the all-time high, we predicted it. It was a short position on Monday. This Monday, we had a double top on Monday. I said it twice. Then this Monday, we also had a high, which we shorted. Last Monday, we also had a high, which offered a big drop to the downside. So just to make things a bit different, it doesn't have to happen, but would like to see a drop first to then reverse to the upside. Confluences to expect higher prices. For me, mainly it will be the imbalances and the monthly pivot. So if we can drop first, this should offer an easy enough long position tomorrow. If we bump first, that would be a bit more bearish, and still I would look for that resistance tomorrow to open a short position. But once again, my expectation is that we drop first, take out this double bottom. We have the scam wick on Coinbase. We have the wickless daily candle on all exchanges, and we have this double bottom. So drop first, potentially hit the support, maybe just take out that low and then reverse. We'll have to see and trade the reaction. Drop, pump, and then drop, and take out that wick. For other coins, Ethereum, it will mainly be the same logic. I mean, drop, we have an order block down there, drop, pump into this resistance, then potentially reject to the downside. Ethereum, it's not surprising, it will just follow Bitcoin. I don't see any alpha on Ethereum that I can use to give me more confidence on Bitcoin. Right now it's just, I don't know. One thing to mention, we have so many lows right there that, and if these don't get taken out, I don't know what to say. I would be very surprised if we don't take out at least this ugly low. At least. And then for one more coin that we analyzed, if anyone just tuned in, well, we have ZEC. One support below from 345 to 355, very interesting area. We have a daily order block. We have a 12-hour imbalance and order block. We have a 4-hour imbalance, and we have the point of control of this pump. For the stock market, it is a big area above, but I would say just be cautious. Where is it? Right there. Be cautious of the stock market when we break above $7,000. I do think that this should be a very big area. If we don't get any reaction, I would be surprised, I have to say. But I wouldn't mind it because I did buy the stocks on the dip. But I don't care what I did, the market is it's not telling me, but we have a big area above $7,000, which you should be very careful about. If we get a drop, that would coincide well with Bitcoin with Bitcoin dropping back below that wick. And the dollar as well, we have hit this very important support, which is offering a bounce. And personally on the dollar, I am expecting a higher. Can you look at the PA of ETH Feb 23rd, 2025? Why are you asking me about that? Feb 23rd. Feb 23rd. Feb 23rd. What happened there? Let me see. What are you seeing exactly? I mean, the only same thing is that we have that liquidation wick. That's the only similar thing that I see. But apart from that, I don't see much. Don't really see any similarities. Do you have anything very similar to what we see now? Possibly. Yeah, I do see what you mean. We have that wick to the downside, but apart from that, I don't see another similarity. I have to be honest. You can see here we have like 50 lows. Right there we just had one low and then kind of grinding up, so it's not really the same thing. We have a bit of a triangle right there. It was a bit more sideways, so a bit of a parallel channel that went higher. But I see what you mean. I don't mind it, but it's not really affecting my bias. It's not really affecting. The only thing that will change my bias is if Bitcoin moves up and breaks this resistance above. Breaking that would be very bullish in my opinion. And of course, if we do break it, then I will just film a YouTube update. Thank you. Hello, Orange. First time I see you. I hope you're well, brother. And if you're new, welcome to our channel. So with that said, thank you everyone for the comments. As always, I do really appreciate it. If you could, before leaving, guys, can you leave a like on the live stream? It does help a lot because we do want to reach more people. Reaching more people means helping more people from all of these scammers on Twitter that change their levels every single time you have a move. But yeah, if you guys could leave a like on the live stream, that would be very appreciated. In any case, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaving comments. Thank you for being supportive. We have a great but small community until now. I still appreciate every single moment of it. So once again, thank you everyone for tuning in. Thank you for everything. And with that said, I will be tuning out. No trading for me today. I would advise for everyone, as always, not to be trading the weekends. So with that said, I will see you all tomorrow morning inside the Discord. So goodbye everyone, and I wish you all an amazing evening. And goodbye. That was an amazing ending, guys. You have to say. Amazing.